Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a month of favorites that actually, when filming, is going to be about a little over a month since my last one, though probably by the time you actually see this, it's going to be closer to a month and a half, 2 months. But considering the fact that the time lapses between related videos is typically a lot longer, I'm going to take the win on this. And unlike how I typically normally start these, we'll go with music, which will actually be the second thing we discuss, but I thought I would add a little bit of a domestic twist to this video and talk about a food product for clarification and for what's the word, context. I am in fact gluten intolerant. Gluten makes my stomach very, very, very upset, and I'm in the process of being a better gluten-free person because I am someone who really, really, really enjoys her simple carbs. I like pasta, I like bread, I like all variety of crackers and cookies, and basically, if it has gluten in it, I love it. Thankfully though, there have been a fair amount of advancements in the gluten-free food whatever. God bless my sister-in-law, who has been gluten-free for like 20 plus years. Back in the day, there was nothing. And so I am very lucky to have the options that I do, one of which being the Snyder's of Hanover gluten-free. All of their gluten-free pretzels are really, really good. They have regular mini rods here, just like the long rods, which are my favorite. They also have just the classic twists. And they have these ones in honey mustard and onion, which not only is the texture of these pretzels feel like a pretzel, taste like a pretzel, have the same sort of structural integrity as a pretzel. And for those of you who are gluten intolerant and have tried, you know, foods that are like masquerading as gluten food without the gluten, you know that oftentimes it is exceptionally underwhelming. There are a lot of degrees of separation between like the actual gluten food and the gluten-free, but this is something that I eat that is just as freaking good as a regular pretzel, and that's really what sells it for me, is that beautiful, amazing texture, because texture is a very big thing for me on a wide variety of foods and scales. Definitely recommend these if you're looking to go like less gluten. Obviously, with the gluten, not puking my guts up every time that I eat gluten is a plus, as well as also just keeping me a lot less bloated. I feel healthier, but this is a great option so that I can actually like eat my tasty, yummy junk food that actually tastes like tasty, yummy junk food, because a lot of gluten-free stuff just doesn't. It just misses the mark. It's very underwhelming. I tried a gluten-free bread and I wanted to make myself a grilled cheese sandwich, and it ended in tears. I was like, all I wanted was a gluten-free grilled cheese sandwich. But this does not end in tears. It ends in happiness and joy, and again, the honey mustard onion, and just absolutely perfection. And now we'll talk about music, as I am known to do, specifically two bands that have been playing on repeat in my neurodivergent playlist, one of which being AFI, which is a group that has been near and dear to my emo heart since Sing The Sorrow and Decemberunderground. I am admittedly not too familiar with their discography previous to those albums. They've been around since the 80s, and they were a bit more like alt rock and punk, whereas Sing The Sorrow and Decemberunderground was more emo. It still had those punk and emo and screamo and those elements, and then I kind of fell out of them after those two albums. A little bit familiar with their Crash album, but for me and my knowledge of them, most of it comes from the Sing The Sorrow and Decemberunderground. I long and yearn for the days of emo Davey Havok back. I look at him now and I'm like, doesn't do it for me. Whereas back in the day with the blue fake eyelashes, the side swept hair, the just absolutely paramount to my emo gothic identity during those years. So one newer song, I'm not entirely sure when it came out, that I've been really loving, and I just kind of, it popped up on YouTube a couple months ago, or maybe even longer than that, and I've just been listening to it recently, is White Offerings, which I have not enjoyed a song by them as much as this since 17 Crimes, which is another one that's on the AFI Neurodivergent playlist going on right now. I would have to say that 17 Crimes, not only is it one of my favorite, like, romantic, schmaltzy love songs, I absolutely adore the music video. I will leave music videos down below. If those of you who know, if you're going to listen to Miss Murder from December Underground, you got to listen to it with Prelude 1221. It's the way it is. White Offerings has just been, again, I'm not familiar with a lot of their discography. I think Burials was the last album I actually physically purchased and listened to, and there was a couple songs on there that I really liked, but kind of when they pulled out of that more emo-esque sound, it just kind of fell more off for me, and I wasn't as interested or intrigued in the music they were making. I joke about the music video, and it's just like, it's all white and whatever, and all aesthetic according to everything, and it's just Davey Havok in really, really tight white pants. Very a la the emo, screamo. We got androgynous, feminine-looking men wearing really tight, skinny jeans, and the man may be however many years old, but he's been true to his roots. Although I do still long for Sing the Sorrow, luxurious, beautiful locks, Davey Havok, lip ring, blue eyeshadow. The joy that it would bring me for him to resurrect that look. Been really enjoying Girls Not Grey, what's that, Silver and Cold. A lot of their hits I will be the first to acknowledge and admit with a fair amount of artists that I enjoy. There are albums and songs that I really, really like, rather than being super involved and knowledgeable about their whole discography like I am with, say, Within Temptation or the Gazette, and other groups that I simply just consume more of their music on a regular basis. But I have been really enjoying those two albums, a variety of other songs. Paper Airplanes is really good. Everything from December Underground, that whole album, Love Like Winter. I had a t-shirt from Hot Topic when they only cost like $17.90. They've just been a really nice throwback listening to. That era of AFI is definitely something that I continuously go back to. And then having some of the newer songs on my list has also been really nice to just kind of split that up. It's funny, when I first started listening to the White Offerings, it's very hard. I will leave it linked down below. I'm not a very good descriptor of music. I'm working with just kind of my whatever. But I came over to see Emma, and I was like, oh, my neck hurts, and my shoulders are tense. And I was like, what did I do? And I was like, oh, I was listening to White Offerings, and I was, violently orating while I'm driving to work, because that's what I do. And if we're talking about violently orating, we've got to talk about kind of in the same vein. Evanescence is a group that I have loved since 2003. Picture 13-year-old emo, depressed, anxiety, borderline personality, undiagnosed bipolar, all sorts of fun neurospiciness that I've had and still have. It's really one of those, it's not a phase, Mom. Seriously, it's not a phase. I can't grow out of it, Mom. But Evanescence was a paramount part of my existence, like continuously to this day. They are a group, and Amy Lee is a vocalist who is just, if you just, forget it being, a huge, amazing contributor to the new metal sound, along with Linkin Park, Babes in Metal, and everything like that. All of that aside, if you just want to hear a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing lady with an amazing voice, listen to Evanescence. You can appreciate her and them as a rock group, as well as just, again, her vocal ability is like, there are some people that get given a little bit extra. She came back for second, thirds, fourths, and fifths. And the longer her career goes and the more music she puts out, the better her voice gets. And it was Fantastic to begin with. Like, she started off with Supremium Gold just for shits and giggles, and because it's one of the most amazing, beautiful songs ever, I will leave down her Love Exists song, which was actually written, it's an Italian song, which I'll leave the original, and then she did it in English, and it is everything and more of what her beauty and her voice, and just, it made me cry the first time. I still cry occasionally. I'll be driving and I'll think about Emma and I in the future, because I'm an emotional mess constantly. However, what I have been really listening to, I mean, Evanescence is a group that I listen to pretty regularly, and, again, as I go from one and other and different artists, one album that I was just like, I haven't listened to that in a while, and I tapped into it, and now it's all we've been listening to, is the 2004 concert, Anywhere But Home, I believe, which was released in, like I said, 2004. Evanescence Fallen was 2003. 13 years old, emotional, volatile. And it just amazes me that in 2004, in the, year of that album, they had singles and album before that, but the Fallen was really that, like, they had the single Broken with Seether. They had Evanescence had songs in My Immortal and Bring Me to Life were both in the Daredevil movie. And Jennifer Garner, who of course I would not forget, because looking back, my love for her makes a lot more sense. And Evanescence also had music in the Elektra film. And that's how I first got into, because I heard it and I was like, this is amazing. Went to girls' camp, and one of the girls had snuck in a CD player with edgy music, Evanescence, and I was listening to it in secret in the tent, making sure the camp leaders didn't find us, because we weren't allowed to bring technology. This is a fundamentalist Christian all-girls camp. We ain't gonna have that shit there. But the concert is just the quality of performance and listening, again, being like, this was in 2004, her voice was amazing, and then you think now, and it's just how just utterly phenomenal they are, not just, although the group has shifted and all kinds of whatever stuff like that, but her performance alone, and just the power and the absolute true beauty of her voice. She really brings it just from so deep inside. The power, the magnitude, just her musical ability consistently amazes me. How when you're able to start here and then continuously, I just keep getting better. I'm like, you were really good to begin with. And they do most of the Fallen album in this concert, and when they do the Bring Me to Life, it is so good, so amazing. And not only that, the Bring Me to Life, they do that, it's amazing. Crowd going crazy. This is Paris. It might be one of their first international concerts. I'm not entirely sure, but the crowd's going wild. We're doing, Bring Me to Life, and she does that note that she brings up from her feet up into the sky, and then it goes into Tourniquet, which is my bleeding heart, whatever's favorite song off that album. And then she gives the performance of a lifetime in that, just belting everything and agonizing and emo and emotional and the whole album, the whole concert is just really, really concise, really solid, really amazing. Again, looking back on it being basically 20 years ago, and again, just the quality of sound and performance just gets me every freaking time. They do a great, amazing cover of Thoughtless by Korn. Funny little random insert. The dude, the singer in Bring Me to Life was like, wake me up, just can't wake up. My ex actually thought that it was Justin Timberlake, which that was a funny moment when he told me that. I was like, really? Justin Timberlake? I don't know his name, but the guy is the lead singer from a group called 12 Stones, which was also really popular during that era. They had, I think they had a song in Daredevil, not Daredevil, yeah, Daredevil or Elektra, who knows. That's how I got a lot of my music at that time. I'd get the movie soundtracks, be like, this is cool, this is amazing. That's how I found Hawthorne Heights. That's how I found The Dreaming, which was actually previously Stabbing Westward, who I already knew, but I didn't know they were another band now. And the reason that we have a dude in the Bring Me to Life is when they originally were like, okay, it was just going to be her. They told her that it was like, no one's going to want to see a girl with a piano. And now it's like, fuck you. Like you know. It's nice to see that full circle and not like the version with the dude and everything isn't whatever to my heart, but I will leave down the remastered version off their album Synthesis, which I also heavily recommend. And it has the Bring Me to Life that just, we'll leave it down below. If you're a fan of Evanescence, check all that out. Been just absolutely vibing to them. They just, I liked to wallow a lot. I was depressed for a very long time as a kid, and Evanescence fueled my depressed, artistic, non-knowingly autistic little ass. And now, as a 33-year-old, I enjoy that shit just as much, if not even more now. I've actually got a few skincare products. I think I talked about this one in monthly favorites that was like however many bazillion months ago, and that is the Boskia Tsubaki Beauty Oil, which I was trying in the summer, which it got up to 99 degrees in Virginia in the summer, so putting an oil on my already disgustingly sweaty face wasn't exactly ideal. It is now cold as fuck, and I've decided to start doing this again, and I love it. Oh my goodness. I have normal to dry skin, and this just makes my skin glassy, luminous, glossy. I look like I'm a glossy ad up in this bitch. This is a product I would honestly definitely repurchase. It's an oil, so it doesn't take hardly anything to do a thin layer all over my face. It works really well on my skin, and for anyone who's come from my other channel, you know how much I care about skincare. It's kind of a big deal to me. I always, at the end before my channel, I was like, yeah, I pretty much like skincare more than makeup, which still stands true to this day. But being able to try this again in the colder months and having it work really well, it's probably going to be a product that I rotate as a winter time product. Tend to be a little lighter, a little more gel to water type product rather than straight up oil. But it doesn't feel really freakishly thick or anything like that. It's just a nice oil that adds hydration and healthy shine and glow to my otherwise underwhelming complexion. And a favorite from back in the day, because I went rooting through my skincare overflow drawer because I have enough skincare to last my face and 5 other people, is the Me Back Cica Cream, which this is a repurchase. This will be my 3rd bottle container of this that I've used. This is a wonderfully light, kind of that like, again, gel to water, very soft. Think the Neutrogena Hydro Cream that comes in that little pot like this. Loved that product. They're not cruelty free. I unfortunately could not continue to purchase it. If they were, I would immediately go out and buy it because it was thin. There's a reason that Neutrogena stuff it's beautiful, so well done, affordable. If you're not cruelty free, I would highly recommend checking out shit from that line. But this is just a really nice, light, whipped, again, you need just a little bit smooth, soft, gives a really nice, light level of hydration. It would be, for me, a more daytime moisturizer, whereas although I work night shifts, so my daytime and nighttime are pretty fucked. My nighttime is more the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, more of that thicker consistency to really penetrate and plump my skin. But this is just a really nice, light, moisture packing moisturizer. Got a teeny weeny little titchy bit of a scent. My girlfriend and her mom both have sensitive skin and are really sensitive to aromas, so I pay a lot of attention to that, and I'm like, you stinky? Stinky? It's a little smelly, but it does dissipate, and it's what I have on my gloriously beautiful complexion right now. We're actually doing pretty good today. And another tried and true is the Good Molecules Glycolic Exfoliating Toner. This is probably my third or fourth bottle of this. I love me an exfoliating toner. This one, there's the e.l.f. Clarify, Brighten and Clarify one is another favorite. The Boscia, is this the one resurfacing? No, the Boscia resurfacing one, I also really love. Just finished that one up today. I adore Good Molecules. They have a wide variety of products that work so blinking well for my skin type, for the price point. They're cruelty-free. They have a lot of their products are in glass bottles, which makes it recyclable, which adds to that nice little thought inside that as I am, participating in capitalism, that maybe I'm doing a little bit good. I'm not sure for all skin types. Obviously, I'm just going off of my experience. I use a exfoliating or resurfacing toner. All of those toners, I've been using them every day when I clean my face, and they just keep my face bright and fresh and clean and just very invigorated. Last on the skincare front is sort of this just little teeny weeny wild card. I got this on a whim at Marshall's because that's what you do when you go to Marshall's. You either get products that you love that are there, or shit that you're like, oh look, it's $4. Or at least I do, because I have problems. This is the Fruitia. I believe it is a Korean or Chinese brand. It's in this adorable little honey pot thing going on here. Their whole shtick is that it's made from fruit. I believe this is like blueberry hydrating cream. And this is a perfect, like just that, again, that gel, that cream to water, where it's just this soft, light, glossy finish of hydration that just, you chill this and I tap it all around my eyelid and just take 20 seconds of self-care and to pretend that the world is not on fire around me. This is one that I would absolutely repurchase. It's just, again, a really nice, light, very hydrating, very moisturizing, very plumping. It's long lasting. It's really nice. If I'm feeling a little dry, a little something, I'll just tap a little bit on there and feel refreshed. I also like the fact that it comes in a packaging this much. I used to, now that like I am so much more into like using up products that I have rather than constantly purchasing and repurchasing, when they give you the big containers, it takes a long time to use up a big container. I don't like bopping between skincare. My skin don't play like that. And so you just have this nice little amount because it's still going to take all time and eternity to finish it. So I appreciate a smaller, very cute, aesthetically pleasing, well-working, nicely formulated moisturizer. I guess gel is what they would call this. I mean, it's 10 grams. It's only 0.35 ounces, but I know that it's gonna, like, I've been using this and it's hardly used up at all. I was really bad about my skincare for a while. I went through a pretty bad low energy depressive stage where I just wasn't taking care of my skin, honestly wasn't taking care of myself very well. So we're out of that. I've been consistently doing my skincare for a while now, so I wanted to talk about the things that have helped me bring myself back to gloriousness. It would not be a hit and miss if it did not have a bag. This is going to be a reoccurring theme for me because now I have opened the floodgates on my channel for talking about handbags, and I'm going to be running with it full tilt boogie. I will be doing a review on this bag, which is why it's still real heavy. I've been carrying this around for at least a month now at this point. This is the Mulberry Bayswater in, this is heavy grain pebbled leather, which is basically you would have seen in my Tory Burch Lee Radziwil in my last favorites and in a review that pebbled leather is, I love it because it looks good and it also takes abuse very very, very well. You can throw it and fling it. It works sleet, rain, dirt, hail, kicked around, and then you take care of it and you bring it back to life. I really appreciate pebble leather and heavy grain for its durability, especially for something that I am using as an everyday bag like this. And I will say, she is heavy. First time I started carrying this bag, are we focused? Are we focused? Very, very heavy. I told Emma the first time I filled it up with shit and I went over, I was like, honey, you're gonna love this bag. She's like, why? I'm like, because I'm gonna get gains carrying this shit, and it holds a lot. This is still stuffed to the brim because I haven't filmed my review yet, but this thing is a big, like, bag of holding. God bless the person I purchased this from, because I like to purchase. I am 99.999% purchase my handbags secondhand, and they sold it to me with a little liner thing in here, because without that it is just one big giant gaping hole. I just love this bag so much. When I first got it and pulled it out and was able to get my hands on this thing, because I did not want to pay full price, I got this one for a phenomenal bargain, and in my preferred leather type, and in this amazing, like, I'm part of a purse handbag subreddit, and I posted about a look-alike bag that looked similar to the Mulberry Bayswater, and I was like, do you think it looks similar? Because it's a lot less money. And someone messaged me and was like, hey, I'm selling mine in green. I was like, oh, green is my favorite color. And it just, everything worked out perfectly, and I am just completely and utterly obsessed. I think that this has honestly, seriously slated my lust for the ever unavailable, unattainable Hermes Birkin, which I'm also conflicted about, like, conforming to the love of Hermes. I honestly think I like this design a bit more. I think it is even more, I hate to use the term quiet luxury. We'll talk about that in more fashion related videos later in the channel, on the channel. But it just exudes that silent, the quality and the beauty and the structure and the craftsmanship speaks for itself. And I like it's got the look where I'm like, ugh, oh, I'm 1%. I'm rich, and I can walk around with this on my elbow because I don't actually have to be practical. Although I do find this bag to be, for all of its heaviness and its bigness, for an everyday workhorse bag, this has proven itself time and time again. I am obsessed. I would love to have one in every single favorite color of mine. They have a couple different sizes, but I'm not going to go into that here. I will in my review, which should be out. Gonna film it eventually after I filmed 2 videos so far today. Yay me! But this I just had to talk about it. I was gonna talk about my Fendi Peekaboo because I love those. You would have seen in my vlog that I was like, oh, why Fendi Peekaboo when I could talk about this? Because it's just, oh, from the moment I pulled it out, I would press my face against it, but I'm freshly skincared, and skincare onto leather, just, we're not going to do that. But the luxurious and the beauty and the amazingness of the leather, just, again, all of this exceeded every quality expectation, and it brings me joy every time I carry it and look at it. I just, hi. This brings joy. I will be talking about more in depth about, like, investing in designer and luxury handbags and purchasing on the secondhand market, because that's what I like to do. There will be more of that later on, more long form and involved content videos. But for now, I just want you all to know how much I love this. This is my aesthetic. This is my dream. This is my everything. And one of my dream bags that also kind of instills in me and reminds me that just because a brand is like, no, our bags are made in Italy and they cost $20,000, doesn't mean that's the best bag for you, because I would probably rather have, like, however many of these 20,000 would buy than actually having a Birkin for $20,000. I mean, bleh. But we'll certainly have more discourse on my fashion industry thoughts later on. All right, everyone, that is what I have for you today in my month of favorites. I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know down below something that you are enjoying or not enjoying. We're all equal opportunity conversationalists here. I always love finding like-minded people for whichever thing we find ourselves like-minded with, whether it be anime, clothes, fashion, music, last monthly hits and misses, last favorites. It might have been a hits and misses. I don't know. One of y'all mentioned him and I was like, yes! Give me that early 2000s emo. Are they even emo? I don't know. They're in that nifty dark genre. For those of y'all who made it, give yourself a big gold fucking star, cause you deserve it for letting me talk about my niche interests to you for over a half hour at this point. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next vlog or video. Bye!